All right, my favorite show of the week. I love this. I have not had any spoilers so far. Uh, I get to see the first look, my first impressions of the slate. This is kind of where I'm going to form my initial opinion, and we'll go from there. I kind of love that this Arkansas Notre Dame game is the first one. It's got the highest total, it's got a close spread. It's going to be a shootout. We're going to have a ton of pieces in this game. It's going to lay the foundation as to how our slate is going to go. Hopefully, we don't run into any Harrison Wallaces this week that are 4,100 and seemingly must plays. We learned our lesson last week. Take shots on your Cortez Brams, which I nailed. Shalik Knots, nailed. Canick wasn't terrible, but shout out Jay Whitty for giving me the Canick play and then switching me off of Knots. No big deal. We didn't lose anything from that. Well, we probably lost a little bit of money on that, but hey, no big deal. So starting out with this one, 64.5 over under, 35.5 total for Notre Dame, 20, 30 for Arkansas. It's going to be a heck of a game here. 29 for Arkansas. Taylor Green, 100% in our pool. He did not have a great game last week. He struggled a little bit with Memphis. Not totally unexpected. Didn't run the ball. He had some touchdown luck not go his way. Did not take care of the football extremely well. Still scored 23 points. I don't think Notre Dame's very good. We saw what Marcel Reed on defense. We saw what Marcel Reed did to this Irish defense. I would expect Taylor Green to be able to do similar things. He is in play at 9,100. You could try to make a case for Carr, but at 8,500, I don't think I'm going to be there. That's a little more pricey. Yeah, he should really be in the sevens. Why price him up there? That's ridiculous. But yeah, he's in play. Jeremiah Love, 100% in play, playing great. We saw what Sutton Smith was able to do last week to this Arkansas defense. They're kind of a sieve, so I would definitely want pieces of Jeremiah Love. I would not be shocked if he's the highest projected running back in the slate for me. 30 points back-to-back weeks, doing it two different ways. It's going to be hard not to want to play him a good bit. Price is good there. Actually, he probably should be 9,500. Jadarian Price. This is going to be a constant, difficult decision because he's so touchdown dependent. I think people are going to go here because of the 4 touchdown game last week, but he had 9 touches and had 4 touchdowns. That's a lot to pay. I mean, at least they priced him at 63, but man, that's a risk. I would very much so would limit my shots there. I'm kind of out on these Arkansas backs in this spot. They're splitting too much work. I don't know. Maybe I'm in. Maybe I'm not. But Braylon Russell's been getting a little bit of the work, just not enough. It would be Washington or bust. That seems like a high price. I doubt I'll be there. Let's just throw him in, just because we'll do a little exercise here. Omega Blake, clear top option for this Arkansas team. He's got to be in play, got to be in the pool, no doubt about it. 6K, reasonable price tag, no issues there. This is cheap price. So I like this price on Malachi Fields. If I was going to play a Notre Dame guy, it would be Fields. I have no issues playing him as well. They don't have to be with Jeremiah Love, but Fields at 3,800 is a great price. He's definitely the best pass-catching option for the Fighting Irish. On the Arkansas side, I'm not really a CJ Brown guy so much, so I'd probably be out on him. It's just difficult to take shots on any. Like Jones had a monster game last week, but the touch count's so limited. I'd be out there. You're really asking a lot. Jaylen Brown I would go with as the number 2 option, but even then that's probably a little more than I want to chew off there. But overall, that game's going to be in play, and you're going to play a lot of pieces from it. I think you can play Love, Fields, Green, and Blake all from that game. and very easily make that work. I think you're going to see a lot of points there, though. Kansas and Cincinnati. All right. 55.5 total, about 31-25. Kansas favored in this one. Kansas guys are going to be in play. Jalen Daniels, no doubt about it, got to be in play at 7,100. Price tag's not bad there. It's not prohibitive. Got a little bit of rushing upside, playing well. I think Sorsby's got to be in play as well at 64. If we go back to that Nebraska game, he ran the ball really well. No, you're good, Jay Whitty. You're good. It's not bad. It wasn't bad. Kanik was a good play. I did play a good bit of knots. It's all good. So Sorsby, I like Sorsby in this spot. If we look at the Nebraska game, you got to figure Kansas's defense very similar to Nebraska. We had a good week. Jay Whitty. We had a good week. A disappointing week, but we'll definitely talk about on the FanDuel show because 100% McAllister and to not get a top 10 finish in the tournament is a bit savage considering because he was 33% owned and McAllister was 33% owned. Hardy smashed. And I went all in. I told y'all I had 50 lineups. And in the tournament, McAllister was 33% owned, and I'm pretty sure 20 of that percent was me. So the fact that I cashed basically every lineup, but at the same time didn't win, goes to show kind of where I just had the wrong mix. I really do like Sorsby in this matchup, though. They're going to hang with Kansas. I'll have to look back and see what Pribula. I'm pretty sure Kansas played Missouri already this year. Yes. So I want to see what I'm pretty sure Pribula absolutely dominated Kansas. So I think that Sorsby is going to be a great pick at this price tag. I will be in on Sorsby. We'll play him naked more than likely. Tyree Walker, no thanks, not in this spot. Highshaw being questionable is a big deal. He didn't play the second half. We're waiting to kind of hear what happens here. If he's in, I'm out on the Kansas backfield. If he's out, I am going to be heavily in on LaShawn Williams, who got a ton of work against West Virginia. At 3,900, he would be a lock button player. He will be a lock button player as a kind of like a Sorsby single. So let's operate off of the thought process that Kansas and Highshaw is going to be out in this situation. I'm going to more so play through Sorsby than any of the Cincinnati running backs. Joe Royer, one of the top options in this offense. His floor is unmatched, but his ceiling is limited. So I'm out at 4,800 more than likely. Emmanuel Henderson, I still do like. I don't mind taking shots there. He's kind of been all over the board. We'll see. Cam Pickett also been kind of high variance there too. So they're shot plays. If you're playing Jalen Daniels, I think you can get there. I need to see how Cyrus Allen's been doing. Not bad. Haven't been able to watch Cincinnati the last couple weeks. Not since the Nebraska game. Interested in Caldwell a bit. Caldwell's more of your big shot play guy. You could take shots on. I would only take shots on Caldwell and Allen because they definitely have the ceiling of the bunch. But I don't think you need to play Sorsby stacked whatsoever. So I think that's kind of where we're at there. Let's see what Georgia Tech Wake. 53.5 over under. Georgia Tech at Wake. 34-point team total for Georgia Tech. About 20 for Wake Forest. No shot in hell I'm ever playing Robbie Ashford. Just not doing it. Just not doing it. It's going to have to be like, NC State, Duke, like those really bad defenses. Virginia, sure. You want to take shots then? Fine. But Haynes King, he's got to be in play. He's got to be in the pool. Hey. Sorry, guys. Got a new phone, new work phone, ringing off the side. So Haynes King, I don't love, don't hate. I think you keep him in the pool, but I would not be overexposed in this spot because if they do manage to blow this game away or get out in front, I think they try to manage his workload so that in those big games, he's more of a runner. But if it's a close game, he's going to have a ceiling that's unmatched for anybody. Jamal Haynes, this is probably a good matchup for him. 7K, though, still difficult. It's still a difficult thing because they're not going to want to use him to that extent. These are, though, the types of games that I would expect Jamal Haynes, to be a good play. I just don't love that they're going to price him at 7K, but he's going to be in the pool, no doubt about it. Damon Claiborne is an absolute stud. He's going to have to carry this offense. He does have the capability to catch a ton of balls and get there on volume. He needs to stay in the pool just off of the basis that, yeah, he might not end up rushing for a ton of yardage, but he's most likely to get a touchdown, and he can also catch you 6 to 8 balls. He is the entire offense in this situation. Rivers, good price tag on him. Same thing, good price tag on Rutherford. I doubt I would want to go to any of these wide receivers for Wake. So I probably don't even want to go to a pass catcher in this game. I think this is going to be a heavy run game script in this game overall. I'd probably just play it through that. Don't really want any pieces on Wake unless it's Claiborne, that's for sure. Louisville Pitt, I think this is an underrated, sneaky potential shootout game. 56.5, 30 Louisville, 27 for Pitt. Eli Holstein priced up a little at 7,500, but probably in play here. He's got 300-yard passing upside. He has rushing capability. Did not run well whatsoever against West Virginia. Still managed to throw up a 23-point game there, and he played awful. So I think he's definitely got to be in the pool. I think this is a good spot for them. They have upset potential. Miller Moss, 5,700. That's a tasty, tasty, man. I like that number. If he gets some touchdown variance to go his way, he's not really going to run the football. But if he can get some touchdown variance at 5,700, this Pitt defense isn't exactly stout. So I really think you could see this. This is a good price for Miller Moss. It's a good price. They haven't really been playing anybody. This is a spot where he could come up big. This is going to be the key to this. Like, this might end up being the key to the slate here. All right, we got Isaac Brown, who's banged up. That's an issue. Super talented guy. Really hasn't had a great start to the season. Got banged up against Bowling Green. JMU, he got held in check big time until a 78-yard touchdown late in the game. Eastern Kentucky didn't need to do anything and just ripped off some big runs. So, like, he hasn't gotten going. Des Reed got pulled from the last game, and I was extremely exposed to him, and then he just destroyed me with 3 points. So now we're going to have to figure that one out. If he's healthy, do I go back to the well? Probably. But that's an interesting one. And then Duke Watson, who's the other star in this backfield, is banged up as well at Louisville. So what's he going to do? So that is going to be the $1 million question. Is which of these three, because the price tag on Des Reed at 73 is very tasty. I know, no Reed. I love Reed, though. I was an early adopter to Desmond Reed last year. I was right out the gate. I was in on him. If Reed plays, I'm going to have a hard time not getting there. If Brown, not, we're not going all in here, but we're going to play plenty of him. The upside's just unmatched in all of college football. Isaac Brown, I love. Duke Watson, I love. If both of them are out, it's going to come down to Keywan Brown. And if Keywan Brown's the starter and both of them two are out, I'll be in at 3,300, no doubt about it. But that also means with both of them banged up, I give a little bit more credence to wanting to go to Miller Moss, thinking that you're going to see plenty of Chris Bell and Colin Lacey as your top targets. So I like Lacey. Me personally, I'm more a Lacey fan than a Bell fan, but Bell is operating as the one, so I probably need to just buy more into Bell there. I don't think there's too much difference. I know Rafi Williams here been a little bit more consistent with the upside at 4,800 than Kenny Johnson. I don't differentiate them that much. Any week could be a Johnson or a Williams week. I think the ownership's all going to flock to Williams, but Johnson has similar upside. No doubt about it there. I wish they'd involved Trayshawn Hurry more. I really like this kid. He's going to be good. Came over from San Jose State. I like him if they can get there. I'm a Colin Lacey guy. I would play Lacey over Bell, but I think you need exposure to both. But I am a Colin Lacey fan personally. Here, let's plug him in here. I think he's an interesting play. Actually, I really like that Motor Moss play, though. But we'll plug him in for right now for the second because I am a fan. All right. Illinois, USC. This is a game that I think shoots out. I like Illinois a good bit in this game to bounce back. USC has struggled traveling across country for the last few years. 59.5 total. This is a game you're going to want exposure to. 33-point total for USC, 26.5 Illinois. I think there's a legit shot Illinois wins this game. Very fair price tag on Mr. Maeva at $8K. It's hard to deny. Good price on Altmaier. I love this price tag on Maeva. I'm a big Maeva fan for a long time at this point. Heavily invested in him. 35 is well within reach. But you look at this Purdue game. That's the last time they traveled across country. 33-17. I do like Illinois in this game, in this spot. I know they just got the doors blown off them by Indiana. They're going to bounce back. We're too reactive. I do like the price tag on Altmaier. I think it's very fair. He still is not showing his rushing capability. He does have rushing upside. He's just not using it. Good bounce back spot here. 6,200, reasonable. I would expect something closer to this Western Michigan game, something in the low 20s. Makes a lot of sense. I don't think you're going to worry about getting a 6 burger thrown on you there. Running back wise, Wayman Jordan's playing out of his skin. 20. Excuse me. Don't have the mute button right in front of me. 20 points, I think you're in that range. But the overall upside is going to be tough to match. I would expect something in the – thank you, Jay Whitty. I would expect something in the 20-point range. Personally, at 64, that's reasonable. I think he's in play. Fagan, I'm not as interested in. I'm more of a Lawfery guy personally. But he played – yeah. So I'm more of a Lawfery guy, but I don't particularly want to play either of them. I think the game script ends up leaning more towards this group. Makai Lemon is just on a different level right now. He can break a slate with 35 points. Wouldn't be shocked by it. Just an absolute PPR monster. Now, his volume got a little bit out of whack last week because Jacoby Lane ended up not playing. I think they're saying he wasn't out for warmups. He was. He was out there for stretches, but then they kind of held him out. I think we end up seeing Jacoby Lane come back this week. 5,400, great price tag. Would not be shocked to have him in lineups for sure. Hank Beatty hit a little bit of a bad week, down week. I would go back to the well here at 51. I think he's a good play. He's the only guy I really would want to go to. I would not go to Tanook Hines. He looks like a similar version of Makai Lemon out there. I played him on the late night slate. He just did not get any targets. Everything flowed through Lemon, and then they were kind of mixing and matching some of these other guys in, but it wasn't a whole lot going on. If you want to take shots, I don't mind taking shots on Bowick for touchdowns. With him being a full go, he'll come back and be heavily involved there. I would just say that Beatty's probably the top guy in that room, no doubt about it. All right. Auburn, Texas A&M. This ought to be an interesting one. 51.5 total, 29 Texas A&M, 22 Auburn. I think that's probably not a great line. 0.0% chance I am playing Marcel Reed at 9,300. I'll X him out of the pool immediately. Yes, he hung 28 on Notre Dame. Cool. I'd rather go play Taylon Green at 9,100 playing that Notre Dame defense that stinks. Why would I play Marcel Reed, a worse player, against an Auburn defense that I think is going to be able to hold him up? They just played wonderfully against a better player in John Mateer. So, no, thank you. I'm out. No shot. Jackson Arnold, reasonable play here against A&M at 69, but I'm probably going to end up being out on him as well. I thought he actually showed fairly decently throwing the football last week. Le'Veon Moss, I'm out on that. There is leverage and there is necessary leverage and non-necessary leverage. That's not necessary leverage in this spot. I think given the quarterback situation on this slate so far, you can easily go Eli Holstein, who has similar, if not more, upside. Jaden Maeva has more upside. Haynes King, way more upside than Marcel Reed. Sorsby, Jalen Daniels. I would rather play every single quarterback we've talked about so far from an upside standpoint. Give me Taylon Green, Sorsby, Jalen Daniels, Haynes King, Eli Holstein, and Maeva all over. I would take them all over Marcel Reed at the same price, much less, priced less, basically. Kind of where we're at. I'll play this team through Le'Veon Moss. I think Moss is getting going. We saw that 20 carry game right there. I think you're going to need to use Moss, and I think Auburn is weak enough along the defensive line. And this A&M offensive line is one of the best in the country. I do love that price tag. He will be a featured option, no doubt about it, at running back. I hate the Auburn running backs, so I'm not going to touch them whatsoever. Can't stand them. Don't want to play them. I don't think they're very good. That's just personal opinion. Cam Coleman, he's going to end up being a tournament play again. 6,900 is a hefty price to pay. I would not end up going there, but whenever he steps on the field, he's the best player on the field. So I have no problems getting there. He just doesn't have the same upside. I want to play some Cam Coleman in some very flyer teams, no doubt about it. Mario Craver played amazing against Notre Dame. He's played amazing all season. I think you need to have him in play at 5,200. Do not mind getting to him. Also, him and Lane Lacey all in that low 5K range. They're going to be great options there. Concepcion, I don't think has the game-breaking ability, but I think you can keep him in the pool at 57. I'm just more of a Craver guy personally. Singleton can be in play at 48. He's getting a ton of targets. I just question the upside to an extent. That's kind of where I would stop at, though, after those top four. I would rank them Craver 1, Coleman 2, Concepcion 3, Singleton 4, if I was ranking them, just based on price and capability. Oh, this game. LSU Ole Miss. So I'm going to end up hearing all week how LSU is going to be able to score on Ole Miss. Yada, yada. Ole Miss ain't going to score on LSU. That's the nature of the beast living in Louisiana. 55.5 over under. Just saw a picture of Whit Weeks laying on a couch with his arm wrapped around Lane Kiffin's daughter. That's quite interesting as well. Interesting week to drop that. The Kiffins know how to do social media, second to none. 28.5-point team total for Ole Miss, 27 LSU. I trust Ole Miss to score points. I don't trust LSU to score points. I don't trust the Ole Miss defense, and I don't trust the LSU offense. So we got strength on strength, week on week. That's always a fun game, makes for a good watch. It will be on the TV. Nussmeier, 8,800, 0.0. I'm taking that. The upside's just not there. He doesn't have the rushing capability, and he's not throwing for 405 in this matchup. I would much rather play Trinidad Chambliss in this spot, given his passing and rushing upside. I know Lane Kiffin is going to find ways to score points on LSU. I don't think you need to. I just think he does have upside. And I would play Chambliss before I would play Marcel Reed. You can put him in that category as well. I would play Marcel Reed over Garrett Nussmeier if that makes you feel better. But no, I'm not playing either one of them. I just haven't seen it. Austin Simmons is not going to be ready to go. Why would you play him after Chambliss has gone 300 yards passing in each game? He's got rushing upside. I think tournament shots, he's a leverage play in this spot because everybody knows how good this LSU defense is. So I'm probably going to end up limiting. He's not in consideration for the for this tournament. For the 50K to first, he's not in consideration for me. 6,700 for Kewan Lacey. I understand the price tag. I'm just not going to be there. Caden Durham is banged up with an ankle issue. 0% chance I'm playing him at 6,100. He's just not playing well whatsoever. Moderate interest in Juwan Johnson at 3,600. I think you can get there. I think that's an interesting play. It would be interesting if Harlem Berry was going to start taking on more work. I just think it seems like Johnson's going to end up being the guy who's the backup. So if Caden Durham's really banged up, Juwan Johnson, solid flyer play at 3,600. But if we already have LaShawn Williams would be a lock if they end up getting there. Lacey at 67, not awful, not great. Wouldn't really like to get there too much. Aaron Anderson's too expensive at 66. This is a matchup where he could end up eating, but him eating is more in the tune of 17 points. So that's going to be a struggle. I'd rather get to a lot of other guys, specifically Mekhi Lemon, much better player at that price range. 5K for Harrison Wallace. Don't hate it. Don't love it. I managed to talk about how I'm going to do FanDuel tomorrow. Probably go over that tomorrow. I haven't fully sussed out. I haven't even looked at the pool for that yet. I mean, I'll do my first look. It's going to be tomorrow morning on FanDuel. 5. I crapped on Wallace for 3 straight weeks, and then now he was too cheap, and I decided to play him, and 3 points. So, that's the way it goes. Barry and Brown, no thank you. Stribling got more involved last week. Still not that interested. Still too expensive. Caden Lee, they're still not quite getting there. I mean, it's one of those situations. I'm probably going to end up being out on all of the pass catchers for Ole Miss. Somebody's going to get there, but is anybody going to really break the slate? Not really. Maybe Jaquan Wright at 35 if I needed a cheap guy. Trades Green still banged up. He's going to be available, but he's been banged up, so I'm out there. I don't know. I just don't think you can play any of these. That LSU is rotating wideouts so much that I just don't think it's worth playing them. If anything, the only guys that I would even currently considering would be Trinidad Chambliss as a massive GPP option and Juwan Johnson as a running back for LSU, which is insane to say. But that's kind of where the pricing leads me to. Baylor, Oklahoma State. So this is going to be an interesting decision point here. 58.5 over under, 40 points for Baylor, 19 for Oklahoma State. No shot on playing Zane Flores. He sucks. I watched him play last week against Tulsa. He's terrible. Sawyer Robertson is 10-1. And it's possible he could be worth it. I'm probably not going here because I know who I'm going to rather play, which is Bryson Washington at 9-1. Jeremiah Love versus Bryson Washington is an interesting inflection point in this slate because there's a legitimate shot Bryson Washington goes for 200 yards and 4 touchdowns. I will take shots on Bryson Washington. I'm probably going to prefer it to Sawyer. Sawyer's playing very well. I think maybe you take one shot or two just to kind of cover your bases. I don't think I end up playing Sawyer in this. There's too many ways that it goes wrong. I would rather have a Bryson Washington team over Jeremiah Love. I like both. I don't think you could play both together. I don't think I will end up playing both together. I think you can, but I probably won't. Josh Cameron, 100%. You could take a shot here or there. I would not use Trig. I think this is a week that they get away from Trig. I'm full fading the entirety of this Oklahoma State offense because they're just not good. I don't want any part of it. I thought that Baylor played fairly well last week, holding Arizona State in check. Maybe you get, if you really wanted to get Rodney Fields, maybe. I think that's fair, 4K, but it's just such a dumpster fire that I don't really want to get there. They basically got blown out by them. Ashton Hawkins, Cole Wilson, Kobe Prentice also, like that's too cheap. So you want to go there. I think that's where I would go to is like Apprentice at 32. I think that's very fair price tag. You could definitely get there. Not that you need to on this slate, but that's a very fair price tag. So all these are very fair price tags on these guys. And like I said, no issues with Bryson Washington. Think he's a good play. You can get there. Utah taking on West Virginia. That's an interesting point because they have to go to Morgantown, 49.5 with a 30 total for Utah, 20 total for West Virginia. I'm 0% playing anybody on West Virginia. West Virginia stinks. I don't want to play any of them. They're all kinds of banged up and all over the place. Dampier at 9,600 could end up being worth it, but as we said, there's plenty of other guys that have more upside in this situation. Well, he has a ton of upside too. Ty Edwards banged up. Just don't touch anybody from West Virginia. Goodness knows we don't know what's going to happen. The backfield for Utah all over the place. No, thank you. Ryan Davis at 4,500 is in play. Bentley at 3,600 in play. I think you could say Hunter Andrews, who's probably 3K, is in play and moderately worth it. This is just going to be a nasty game. Is it worth taking shots on Dampier at this price? Yes. They're coming off of a terrible game. I mean, his upside is 100-plus yards rushing and multiple touchdowns on the ground with another 200 passing and 2. There's other guys that have a lot more ceiling and floor combination, but Dampier needs to stay in the pool personally. Indiana, off of that monster win, takes on an Iowa team that just relinquished a massive number of points to Rutgers. Rutgers does have an exciting offense this year, and Ethan Kaliakmanis doing bits over there. 49.5-point total. Tempted to say over in this one. 28.5 for Indiana. I'll take the over there. 21 for Iowa. Interesting game. Can Iowa hang enough points in this one is really the question to keep Indiana going. Indiana is going to score a lot of points. Mendoza at 6,800. The Greek Rifle just dominated them. So why would I not expect Mendoza to? 6,800, very fair price tag. I think you go here. I think this is in play. I think you keep Mendoza in play. No shot I'm playing Gronowski at 65. I'd 100% play Mendoza over Gronowski. No thank you on Gronowski. I'm probably out on Moulton. They're mixing and matching backs a ton. They're going to struggle against this defense. I even probably am out on Hemby and Black. They're splitting so much work. And the touchdown variance has really not gone their way. Now, granted, it is down to just the two of them. But I don't know that it stays being just the two of them because this kid Martin is playing really well. Kobe Martin. He got all these carries late in the game, but every time he's gotten work, he's been explosive. I think he starts to work his way into this backfield and taking over a little bit of that Lee Beebe role. So I probably will avoid those guys, but I'll wait and make a determination later. Omar Cooper, more realistic pricing this week. He will be in play at 55. He is a shot and a half to hope that you get there. He needs a big play, but he can hit it any given week. It's him or Surratt for me. Surratt is the much safer option. I think you get there. I have no issues getting there and pairing either one or both. But they've kind of struggled to have both hit in the same week with Mendoza. I think Mendoza is definitely in play, though. No doubt there. I like that Surratt price tag, by the way. That's tasty at 59. He's a good play there. Like we said, you can get to we can get to our boy here. Yeah, you can easily get there and there. And then we still got a ton of price. So anyway, we'll play with it in a minute. All right, Ohio State, Washington. This is a big game. I'm excited for this game as a DeMond Williams truther. 52.5 total in this one. Ohio State with a 31-point projection. I do like Washington with 21.5 to go over that total. DeMond Williams at 8,200. I prefer him to stay in at 81. I do think Ohio State's going to hang a monster number here, given how terrible Washington played against Washington State. But hard to take away a ton from those types of rivalry games, Apple Cup. I love DeMond Williams. He does not get enough credit. I'll continue to say it for how good of a passer he is. 16 of 19 last week, 298 and 4, ran for 88 and 1. His upside's unmatched. Give me some DeMond Williams. I will be playing him. I think they're going to have to play from behind. Sayin, I'm less interested in, more interested in the weapons. 81 is a little bit more than I want to pay given his lack of mobility. I just think there's better plays like for cheaper in this spot. Jonah Coleman is on an absolute tear right now. Just an absolute tear. Look at the touchdowns, man. He's catching the ball well. He's running it well. This is an awful matchup. 6,900 is reasonable given how great he's been. I mean, look at this. The guy's averaging over 40 a game. Just on a fire right now. But problem is going to end up being Ohio State's a great defense. So that's a scary click. I think the price is very good for 42.5 a game. I'm not going to play CJ Donaldson. I'm not going to play James Peoples. If I was going to play a running back in this backfield, I'm playing Bo Jackson. Bo Jackson is going to be the next great Ohio State running back. I like this kid. I know he's third in the pecking order. I just don't like Donaldson and Peoples. I think in the long run, over the course of the season, we eventually see Bo Jackson take this backfield over. Donaldson's in his last year of eligibility. I think they're just going to kind of use his wheels up. Peoples is playing awful. I think Peoples probably ends up transferring after the season and goes away. Bo Jackson's the next star in this room. Wouldn't be shocked if Bo Jackson takes over this backfield. He's the only one I'd be willing to take shots on, but given the three-headed nature of this backfield, don't really want to play it. Jeremiah Smith at 9K, he's always in play. It doesn't matter what the price tag is. He's going to have to take over this game. I have zero issues playing Jeremiah at that price. I do like playing Boston. I think based on the pricing, as we've seen, very easy to get your Jeremiah and Denzel Boston with DeMond Williams stacks in. I think you can do that. No issues there. Very easy to do that. Denzel Boston is very good. So I think that he is in play without a doubt. Who else steps up for Washington is the question. I don't know. They are lacking the secondary wide receiver weapons, especially with Rashid Williams now hurt. Omari Evans came back last week, played a little bit, but I don't think he's the answer. We'll have to wait and see. They're struggling right now to get that second answer. Roebuck played decent a couple weeks ago, but did nothing last week. Vines Bright, he got some run early in the season, still hasn't really emerged and done anything. They're in a little bit of a pickle at that wide receiver 2 spot. A game that we're going to end up with a lot of exposure to as well, in addition to that Arkansas Notre Dame game, in addition to the USC Illinois game, and you've got just so many good games that you can stack up. This is one of those games. Tennessee taking on Mississippi State, 62.5, second highest total on the slate, 35-point projection for Tennessee. They need to be on upset alert in Stark Vegas with the cowbells ringing. Mississippi State 27.5. Blake Shapen has a fabulous price tag at 6,600. I like this price tag. He has rushing upside. I don't think this Tennessee defense is particularly great. They have passing upside. Just look at this Arizona State game. 24, 25 points, I believe, is in play. I do not trust Joey Aguilar. He does not have rushing upside. He has to throw for all of it. Yes, the Georgia game, he threw for all of it. I'm out on that, though. I think that's an outlier game. I think you see something closer to Syracuse or UAB in the low 20s. That's kind of be where he's going to be. 3K, 3 times upside, not there for me. I'm out at 8,300. Too many better plays. I'll play my Ava 10 out of 10 lineups. I'm not getting there. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Deshaun Bishop still operating as the one in this 3-headed backfield. The touchdowns are going to have to fall your way. I don't love that. Him, Star Thomas, Peyton Lewis, all going to get plenty of work. I don't love taking shots. Maybe Star Thomas is the guy, but I don't love it. There's just too much variance. You're going to have to really get lucky there. Devon Booth has looked good, especially early in the season. The problem is Fluff is just a power. He's a powerhouse. So can Fluff be denied? I don't know. He's coming on strong. I would rather play Fluff personally. I'm more of a fan of him. I do like Booth, but Fluff is just going to be a great player for another few years. He was great at South Alabama last year. He would be great right now as Kentrell Bullock's guy. We're going to see them, and they're going to be talked about in a video that's coming out today from South Alabama. But yeah, I think Fluff is probably the guy that I'm most interested in out of that backfield. But I really want to play the pass offense, man. I want to play the pass game in this one. Brazel, I think a lot of people go here. And I think you're going to end up getting disappointed for some reason or another. I will get here a little bit, but I think he's going to be played a little over too much because he is very capable of just goosing you at 5,800. All of these guys are. I love these price tags on Brennan Thompson. Brennan Thompson's going to be a good play. He dominated the only other competition that they had, which was Southern Miss and Arizona State. You can't take anything away from NIU and Alcorn. They didn't need him there. And then Anthony Evans, also love him in this spot. He dominated against Arizona State, did fine against Alcorn. He's more of your possession guy. I do like both in this spot. Playing one of them or both paired up with Shapen is a fine option. I think you need to have one of those two eventually in your lineups. I would say they're both very good plays. So if we're looking at this, let's just quickly look through what we can do. I do like the Malachi Fields play. Probably prefer that to there, but yeah, let's go Jeremiah Love. I like. So let's look here. So let's say we want Sorsby. I like the Sorsby play a good bit. Um, I like Maeva. Let's see. Running back 3.7. So I can go down to running back at 6.8. Yeah, get you like Keywan Lacey. Meh. Um, I think Jeremiah is just an absolute sick play at that price. I mean, you got 7.3 left in this one. I don't really think you want to get any of these guys in there. Lemon, you could go down 5.6. That's pretty easy. You could get Omar Cooper in that spot if you wanted to. And then, oh yeah, let's just do that. Let's say we want Surratt, and we'll play around with where's our guy? He's playing out of his skin. Let's go Mendoza. And then let's say we want I would say we're gonna want to get that would be fun. That is a really fun way to play that, is just go double Notre Dame backs. That's funny. We have 7.3 for a quarterback if we wanted. Jalen Daniels, I prefer him. You know what? Actually, we could. No, we can't get up there and do that unless we drop our running back down. But anyway, you kind of get the gist. You got a ton of room to maneuver on these teams. I think Moss is a better play than from 5,400 up. Moss is a better play than Highshaw, Peoples, Fagan, Donaldson, Claiborne, Nakari Rogers, Durham, Mike Washington, Kamari Moulton. Jadarian Price is probably the one that's on par, but I prefer Le'Veon Moss. Le'Veon Moss over Wayman Jordan in that spot. I know that spot's decent, but I prefer Moss to Jordan because he's going to split work with you in the pass offense is so good. Then you start getting into the guys that are capable of being in his realm. So like your Jonah Coleman's, your Jamal Haynes, but it's going to take you getting all the way up here to even get in the realm of Moss. I think Moss is going to end up being a chalk play, and deservedly so. He stands out in that range right out the gate. That's a very clear situation for me. And then your top stack wise, I think Jeremiah Smith's a great play by himself because he's going to go over 100 and multiple touchdowns. Mekhi Lemon, also great play. Denzel Boston is a good play, but I prefer Smith and Lemon. And then your Bostons and Colemans are going to be great plays as well. I'm probably out on Anderson, out on Cameron, in on Bell to an extent, in on Tate maybe. I think you can do say-in doubles, but I don't know that I would love that. I would probably want to stay away from that just because of how expensive the Washington bringbacks are going to be. And with saying not running, you kind of lose something. I do like Blake as the Arkansas wide receiver weapon. Don't hate that. I like the Omar Cooper, like Elijah Surratt. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of wide receivers you can play. And I think it's just going to come down to what quarterbacks are you playing, what running backs are you playing. Do you want to mix and match? Do you really like this Brennan Thompson play as well? He's just an absolute freak of an athlete. So a lot of ways you could go at wide receiver. I think running back, you're going to have a very, very tight pool. Oh, Army, East Carolina. I can do that. I'll do that on Thursday, Jay Whitty, if that's cool. When I do the lineup builder for this, I'll do a run through for, I mean, it's pretty obvious. Army's going to run the hell out of the football. East Carolina's going to throw it. East Carolina has no run game. Like, I mean, Army runs the ball at like a 90% clip. East Carolina's going to throw it at a 65% clip. So you're just going to play pass catching options. It's going to be like Yannick Smith, Anthony Smith, the clear Caton Hauser, and then Army. You're just playing all the running backs. You're not going to play any wide receivers. I would even play the Army kicker more so than the East Carolina kicker. But Army's going to play keep away. And then if you were going to play a running back for East Carolina, it's going to be the Penn State transfer kid. I haven't seen his name in a bit, but yeah, here. I'll just do it now. Why not? Let's go to contest. I have no clue. I'm going to have to run projections for me to actually get a idea of what I'll actually end up playing. But if I was to guess, let's just go in the Fumble Rooski. That thing pops up every time. Hauser is in play, not as a captain for me, but he's in play as the bring back. I'm terrible. I'm terrible at showdown, Jay Whitty. I'm very honest about that. Who plays at quarterback is the $1 million question here. So who's going to play quarterback for Army? We need to know. If it's, whoever it is going to be in play. Helms, Noah Short is a good play. Hayden Reed, also a good play. London Montgomery is going to be your top running back, but he's not going to get a ton of work. But he's a Penn State transfer, pretty good player. Petaway has been a disappointment. Parker Jenkins is in play. Spalding has kind of taken over that spot that was going to be Petaway. Jacquez Petaway is awful. So I would say Yannick Smith, Anthony Smith, both in play as captain options if you were going to want to play that. And then your captain options for Army are going to be probably Reed, Short, and whoever the quarterback is, because goodness knows whatever the quarterback is going to have a legitimate shot. And then really you're going to try to hit. I would just full avoid that. I think the Army kicker is always in play. If I was to guess, it's going to come down. Marlon Gunn stinks. I'm not going there. I would never go there. Riles. I mean, it's going to come down to target share and whether you can find a cheap enough guy to get in there. Like Army, who's Bartosh. He had 8 carries last week, but it was a 77. It's like this is a guy that's going to get steam. And I think people will play. But 1 carry for 75 and a touch. So his variance is going to be huge. So he had 7 carries for 24 yards and no touchdowns. So he would have had 2.4. He got 13.5 points on 1 carry. That's a guy that I would not play in Showdown this week. I guarantee that. Good morning, JB. So, yeah, I'll look through this once I get projections done for it. I'm going to be fair, Showdown, the only reason I'm even playing this game is because it's going to – I have to get I want the crowns for playing every day. And we'll literally just throw a cheapo lineup in. Yes, you're right, Jay Whitty. But at the same time, I don't think – the thing I've kind of learned in college is you don't need to play those type things. You just don't need them. There's a lot of guys down here that like Walters might have a better shot, but then he got all of his stuff at Campbell, so he's not going to play in the close game. So you don't really need to get there. Like if you got to the Army kicker, he's got much more upside than that kid does. And then I'm not going to play Brady Anderson in that spot. Like that, no, you're not playing an Army. The Army's going to the game script you're going to play is Army blows out, or Army runs the football. So I'm going to want like a Hayden Reed potentially. They play from ahead. So Hayden Reed, Noah Short. Noah Short's a lot more of a risky play than Hayden Reed, in my opinion. So I would go Reed, and then it's going to be one of the quarterbacks. So Dwayne Coleman played. Okay. So Dwayne Coleman played against North Texas. So Helms is gone. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. It's variance. Dwayne Coleman. Coleman's back. He had 23 carries. Yeah. Coleman's back. Okay. So your options at captain are Coleman, um, Reed, Short. I would say Coleman and Reed are your top two on the Army side. From the East Carolina side, it would be the Smiths. I would take one of the two Smiths, and then maybe Brock Spalding. Maybe. I think Spalding's got a limited upside. I would play Spalding at utility personally. Let's say you go Hayden Reed. What can you get? Can you get Coleman? You got to have Coleman with him. And then I don't hate Spalding, but the problem is now I can't get to one of the Smiths, and you're going to have one of the Smiths to go with Hauser, which optimally you'd want to have both. So like maybe you go Army kicker. I mean, like that. See, this is the problem I have is you need upside. So I think Hayden Reed's a much better captain play than those guys. And then you need Army kicker. But then you need to get like, see, this is where you guys kill me. Now I'm thinking about it. Hayden Reed. And then, see, I still can't get the guy I want. Or no, I can. I can get the Army kicker. Yeah. No, see, now you're still screwed because you still can't get one of the two Smiths. You have to have one of Anthony Smith or Yannick Smith with Hauser if you're playing that. And then you have to have Reed and Coleman or Short needs to be in there. But those two are kind of key. Me personally, I would not play it like that. I want one of Reed or Coleman. Coleman can break the slate. But I think you have to. To me, I'm captaining Reed or Coleman. That's the two, and then I'll run projections, and something will find me a point down here, and then I'll figure it out. But yeah, I would say best case scenario, I would go like Reed, Coleman, and then I'm gonna want, let's just say Yannick Smith. Maybe that's the week that I'm feeling, and then now I'll go from there. So that's the base of what I want. I either want Anthony or Yannick here, and then you can just kind of play from there. You can go double kicker. Nope, can't do that. Yep, nope, can't. 4,800, 5K. So you're screwed there too. So yeah, but you can figure it out from there. Maybe you would get on to somebody else, but maybe it's Marlon Gunn and his terribleness. All right, that's wrapped up. Good hour-long talking DK. We will be back tomorrow talking about FanDuel, taking the first look there. I'm sure that slate's out, but I'm going to break that down tomorrow. And I'll take my first runs at that stuff and see where we are at. And then we'll have content all week as usual and per usual. And I will have, okay, yeah, so that's possible. So who's Bartosh? Ooh, Army running back Bartosh? Okay. I don't, oh God, you're doing that to me. You would do that to me. Let me take the high variance guys. You can get me 1 point. I know it gets me in there. Maybe he gets a carry. Maybe he doesn't. We'll look at it. We'll keep looking. Maybe something stands out. What about Howard? Howard's interesting. No, Howard stinks. He catches the ball. Don't want that. So yeah. So that is a good lineup, though. You're right, Jay Woody. That's the type of lineup. Now we could end up with a Shalik Knott's Canic type deal right here, but I'm less likely to. I'll only lose a little amount. So yeah, so I'll be back tomorrow talking FanDuel, and we'll get further along in the week as I get projections. We'll really know some stuff. So I'll see you guys later. Look out for the underrated game of the week that is coming out today. I just finished recording it before I started this, so I'm gonna get that edited, have that up, and it's a good game. So I mentioned it a little bit earlier with South Alabama. Yeah, got Nebraska. Ding, ding. Let's go, boys. Y'all have a good day. I will see y'all tomorrow.